Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with three of my brothers. That is MCOBURA, BARRACK, and MIGUDA. How are you doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing good over here. Labda wewe na wenzangu ambao pia wako hapa na sisi.
Yeah. Asante sana kwa sababu la sasa wewe umeamua kubadilisha lugha ambayo tunatumia, itabidi tufuate mkondo huo huo hapo. MIGUDA, habari gani?
Niko salama upande wangu. Tulia tu, labda nyinyi pale mko.
Si tuko kwema. Ndugu yangu Baraka, habari gani?
Niko salama brother ndugu Ben. Na wewe uko vipi?
Mimi niko shwari. Tunasema kwamba tunang'ang'ana kwa lugha, unajua kuna ile tunaita lugha ya mtaa, lazima tung'ang'ane, yani kutafuta riziki. Hiyo ndio sasa mimi hapa tunang'ang'ana kutafuta riziki.
Hakuna lingine.
Mimi nataka kuwashukuru kwa kuchukua muda wenu ili tukuje tukae na mjadala kidogo kwa yanayojiri ama yaliyotendeka katika nchi yetu, kwa sababu kila wakati huwa tunakuja hapa ili tuzungumze na tusikie wananchi na hata nyinyi tuambie mawazo yenu kulingana na yale ambayo yametokea. Jambo la kwanza ambalo labda tunataka kuzungumzia, ninataka kusikia tu maoni yenu. Unajua jana kulikuwa na huzuni nyingi pale Thika, pale inaitwa Duberi, ambapo msichana wa miaka 12 alikuwa anazikwa. So baada sisi kufanya kipindi, nilipata bahati kuangalia zile picha ambao zilichukuliwa, lakini niliona kama watoto wadogo walikuwa wamejawa na majonzi na ikanipatia, nikaanza kuwaza kwamba hawa watoto katika hii nchi yetu, ambapo ukipata mtoto analia hivyo kwa uchungu, wamepoteza mmoja wao kwa njia ya risasi, na walikuwa na majonzi na walikuwa wanalia. Nilikuwa ni huzuni, hata wewe mwenyewe ukiona unaona ni kama wewe pia unaona kama kulia. Na sasa swali langu ni, je, tunaweza fanya aje watoto wahisi kwamba wako pali pazuri, ama ile mtu aende aongee nao, aweke wazo lao litulie, kwa sababu picha ambayo jana ilionekana haitoi taswira mzuri, hata haitoi picha nzuri kwa nchi na viongozi wake. Mr. Barrack, wewe maoni yako ni vipi?
Asante sana ndugu Ben. Kwa kweli jana kulikuwa ni siku ya huzuni sana kwa wale ambao walienda kuzindikisha huyo mtoto wa shule, mtoto mdogo ambaye alikuwa amepoteza maisha kwa mtutu wa risasi, ambayo ni jambo la kuhuzunisha sana. Na nchi vile ilikaa ikiangalia, especially vile wenzake walikuwa wanamzindikisha, wamejawa na huzuni, majonzi, wanalia huku na kule. Na hakukuwa na uwepo wa serikali pale kwa kuonyesha kwamba serikali pia ilikuwa inaungana na familia ile na jamii ya hiyo na ya sehemu hiyo kuomboleza kupoteza mtoto mdogo kama huyo. Kwa hivyo mimi kwa maoni yangu naona ingekuwa ni vyema kama uwepo wa serikali ungekuwa pale ili watoto wadogo hawa pia waweze kuhisi ya kwamba serikali haiwakilishi unyama, bali inasimama nao wakati huu mgumu. Na pia hawa watoto wao, serikali ingeona vile hawa watoto kama wanaweza pata pia ushauri na saha ili waweze kusaidika kupitia wakati huu mgumu. Kama wanaweza enda hata kutembelea, kama waziri wa usalama Bwana Kipchumba Murkomen hata anaweza enda kutembea ile shule, aweze kuongea na watoto, aweze kuwafariji, aweze kuwazungumzia ili waweze kuhisi ya kwamba kwa serikali pia inawajali. Licha ya kwamba mmoja wao alipoteza maisha kwa mikono ya afisa wa usalama, lakini serikali iweze kuhakikisha kwamba waelewa kwamba ilikuwa baby pengine kwa bahati mbaya, lakini si jambo la kawaida ati mtoto mdogo kama huyo anaweza poteza maisha na mambo hiyo kama ni mambo ya kawaida. Kwa hivyo mimi maybe kama kuna mtu kutoka kwa serikali atatusikia siku ya leo, waweze kufikiria jinsi wanaweza kutembelea wale wanafunzi na kuwashughulikia ili waweze kupata ushauri na saha na kuwazungumzia ili waweze kuhisi ya kwamba serikali inawajali na pia wale ambao wako uongozini wanajali. Hata ikiwezekana watembee pale na Inspector Generali wa polisi pia, ama mkuu wa polisi wa county aweze kuwaongelesha ili waweze kupunguza machozi yao na waweze kuhisi kwamba serikali pia inawajali. Hayo ndio maoni yangu bwana Ben.
Asante sana ndugu yangu kwa hayo maoni. Pole sana, naona kama kuna jambo lingine limeanguka hapa ndio imefanya nikainama kidogo. Baraka, unajua nakubaliana na wewe 100% kwa sababu unajua kuna wakati vitu kama hizo ama tukio kama hilo kimetokea, kwa sababu inachukua uongozi na kukuja kuwafariji, kwa sababu kuja kuwafariji hata kama utakuwa labda watu wana imani sana na serikali ambayo iko katika mamlaka, lakini kukuja itatoa picha tofauti na kukosa kukuja, kwa sababu ukikosa kukuja, malalamishi ama ile ujumbe unatuma kwa familia ama kwa watu wa eneo hilo, wataona kwamba hamna tuseme kwamba hamna hisia na yale ambayo familia inapitia. Kwa sababu hata jana niliona wapinzani walikuwepo kama maviongozi, lakini baada ya hao kutoka walikuwa wakafanya mkutano wa hadhara, lakini yule mama na yule familia alibaki na nini? Ndio hayo kwamba viongozi walikuja. Hata kuna swali aliuliza maviongozi, ni kwamba mambo kama haya tunaweza ikomesha vipi, kwamba tusipoteze watoto wadogo. Na Barrack, itakuwa ni changamoto kubwa sana kwa serikali yaliyo mamlakani kwa mambo kama haya, kwa sababu hawa watoto wametengeneza picha na wameweka katika fikra zao kwamba mmoja wao aliuliwa, na wakati tulikuwa tunampatia heshima zake za mwisho hatukuona mtu yoyote ambaye ako katika serikali, ama sidhani kama hata kama serikali ya county, sidhani kama kulikuwepo na mtu, kwa sababu kulikuwa na mtu ambaye angezungumzia niaba ya serikali. Si tunasema kwamba tuwezi sema kwamba tunaongea mbaya juu ya serikali, hapana, lakini ni vitu ambazo zinatendeka na vitu ambazo huwa zinafanyika. Ukiangalia nchi zingine ambao watu wameendelea, unapata wakati kama huo lazima kiongozi lazima jitokezee, akuwe ni mtu ambaye anawafariji. Maneno ambayo anasema zinakuwa ni maneno ambayo zinamfariji nchi, vile vile imfariji mzazi, na vile vile imfariji wale mafamilia, sana sana wale ambao walikuwa wanasoma nao, na hiyo inataka uongozi. Ndio maana kila siku nasema kwamba labda inafaa tujipige msasa, tujiangalie kama nchi, kwani tunakosea wapi? Ni uongozi ambao hatuna, ama ni kuna vitu ambazo saa zingine sisi tunatukia tu, ni kwamba tukio likitokea tunaweka siasa inachukua kipaumbele. Unaona, kwa sababu mimi naamini wakati kama huo jana, ile hafla ingekuwa ni kama la nchi, viongozi wa upinzani wakuje, viongozi ambao wanatoka kwa serikali wakuje, waongee, waseme kwamba shida iko wapi, hata kama watakuwa wanasikilizana kimawazo, kisiasa, lakini uwepo wao wote ingeonesha picha tofauti na yale tuliona jana. Na pia unapata kwamba maviongozi ambao walikuwa wale wa upinzani walitoka, lakini baadaye ikawa ni mambo wakapiga siasa kama yao, kwa sababu ni wanasiasa, hatuwezi wakosea sana, lakini pia inakuja ule mama bado ako na majonzi. Asante sana Barrack kwa maoni yako. Wacha niruke kwa ndugu yangu Miguda, pia wewe utoe maoni yako, alafu MCOBURA atasema yake la mwisho. Miguda, karibu sana.
Asante sana kakangu, ningependa tu kuzungumzia jambo moja. Ni jambo si ya kawaida kupata ya kwamba mtoto mdogo haswa mchanga wa katika shule ya msingi anapoteza maisha yake kwa njia ya mchezo, ati amepigwa risasi na serikali ama na polisi. Si jambo la kawaida. Kwa mfano, huyo mtoto kwanza hata hana ile ujuzi na maoni ya kufanya maandamano, hata ajielewi ya kwamba tunafanya ni kama nchi. Huwezi nipata barabarani na pia huwezi nipata katika maandamano. Sasa ni vile ni makosa kubwa, tuseme hivyo, lakini kile tunazosema kwamba pengine huyu mtoto kama angekuwa mzima, siku za usoni huenda akakuwa hata daktari ama huenda akakuwa hata rais wa nchi, na yeye ndiye angekuwa ambadilisha nchi yetu. Sasa tunasema tu lazima tuomboleze familia, na pia si jambo la kawaida na pia ni jambo la huzuni, na tunakemea hayo matendo kwa yule afisa ambaye alihakikisha kwamba huyo mtoto alipigwa risasi. Lakini cha muhimu ya kwamba sasa ni tuite serikali wakuje waingilie maneno, wakisha kwamba wameomboleza wale familia na watoto, ndiposa wajua kwamba haikuwa jambo ya kawaida kupoteza mtoto aswa mchanga kama huyo. Hiyo ndio maoni yangu kwa sasa.
Asante sana. Pia nakubaliana na ndugu yangu hapa, amesema wataongea aje, na hata rais mwenyewe hajasema kuna mtoto ambaye ameuliwa akaomba pole. Nakubaliana na wewe. Kuna jambo ambalo labda maviongozi wetu hawana, kwa kizungu tunaita empathy. Yeah? There's what we call empathy. Empathy. Yeah? Kwa sababu huyu mtoto ni mtoto ambaye amezaliwa na kizazi, ako na baba na mama. Unajua kulea mtoto mpaka afike 12 years is not an easy thing. It's not to walk in the park. Yeah? But empathy, it is kind of like tells you that our leaders do not have empathy for the people that they rule. Because even yesterday I was very keen enough, especially when Murkomen had a briefing yesterday. He was talking about what happened during the Sabasaba and all that. I might be wrong. Maybe I came to the press, especially when he had already mentioned. I did not hear him at no time during the entire briefing that he had, that even recognizing that there was a 12-year-old that lost his life during that day. Until today, I think I met a clip talking about, he was answering that question. But now it is too late. Yeah. Yeah, it is too late. You know, the empathy. Lazima ukuwe na ile hisia kama mzazi, kama hata tu mtu ambaye ako mzazi, mtu ana mzazi. Kwa sababu ukiona machozi ya wale watoto, sana sana kuna yule mtoto alikuwa kwa bendi ambaye alikuwa anapiga ile ngoma kubwa, machozi yalikuwa inamtiririka tiririri, na alikuwa anajizuia, bado anataka kucheza ngoma yake, lakini bado anapigana na machozi. Kwa kweli kama nchi inafaa tuangalie maviongozi ambao sisi tuko nao si vyema, na ni historia mbaya itakuja kuwa kwa nchi yetu, kwa sababu haya picha na tunaona zinapita boda zetu, zinaenda nchi za nje. Watu wataangalia nchi vipi? Na kama kiongozi ambao alikuwa sana sana CS Murkomen alikuwa anatubia wanahabari, angesema pole. Na unajua kitu cha kwanza mi naona kwa watu maviongozi na viongozi ambao wamekomaa na viongozi ambao nimeona wengi kwa nchi ambao zimeendelea, huwa wakihita habari na kuna tukio kama yale, mambo ya kwanza ambao unasema kwamba ni unachukua fursa ili kuomboleza na mafamilia na kuambiwa pole. Lakini huwezi ambia mtu pole baada ya kumaliza hotuba yako, inamaanisha haikukuwa ya lazima. Mi naomba tu, ni maoni yangu kama mimi, itabidi tubadilishe mfumo na tubadilishe jinsi tuna kama viongozi, kwa sababu sisi hapa tunawaambia yanayojiri na jinsi watu walio katika ground wanahisi. Asante sana ndugu zangu. MCOBURA, we swali lako, labda jambo ambalo unaweza sema kuhusu maneno ya jana, wale watoto, majonzi ilikuwa inawatoka, ulikuwa unaona huzuni mingi, na nadhani mpaka wa leo sidhani kama wako kwa tuseme kwa mental status of those kids. Yeah, because mental status, that is what we are, it's, the mental status, stable mental status, after undergoing that, seeing their loved one, part of them is being buried, and nobody is there to comfort them. Thank you so much, MCOBURA.
Okay, thank you so much. I would want to go with the comment of Father here. Father here is saying that Father here is saying that wasomi wa psychology husema empathy comes out of humanness.
Yeah.
Who in the current government has displayed any humanness? I think that clarifies the whole thing, and that is what I've been saying here consistently. It's so unfortunate that we lost that young girl at a time when, you know, the parents hoped that maybe this child would grow and become somebody who will then help them. You know very well that once you have a child, what we always think of, the human psychology, is you think about the future, and then of course, depending on how you interact and the progress of the child, you then get to you know, have some future dreams about that particular child. And I can tell you that it's so unfortunate that we lost that young girl at a time when, you know, at her, they say at her prime, you know, prime age, at 14, at 13, I think that is one of the most painful things that the parents and even the friends and even the entire country went through. And, you know, if you try follow what happened, this girl was just watching TV in their home when she was, you know, when the bullet found her. And I think sometimes personally, I don't know even what I can say. I know it's such a painful thing for that family, and they're going through a lot. And I would urge that we should have a government that truly understands, a government that knows that, you know, these are human beings. You know, you are leading human beings. When you are the leader of human beings, then you have to be fair to the human beings. You have to listen to the human beings, because leadership is all about listening. Leadership is all about, you know, giving solutions to the problems. And part of what I know about the Constitution and about the leadership of the country is, I remember the president, part of what the Constitution requires a government or a leader to do is, you know, swearing that they're going to protect the lives. And that is the core mandate of every government that is coming in place. So to me, it's such a painful thing that we lost that young girl. And it's upon the government. I know as much as we are looking for justice, it's not enough for the family, it's not enough for the friends, for the country. But I think the government, the president needs to come down and speak to the people. He needs to address some of these things, because as much as, if, for example, this little girl would have gone for demonstration, then you can say that, oh, maybe she went for demonstration and she met her death in that particular state. But we have quite a number of people who actually have died, and they were not even participating in this. So it is upon the government, of course, to ensure that the enforcers, security enforcers and the law enforcers, they follow the due process when it comes to handling this protest. They follow the due process when it comes to handling human beings, and they have to protect the dignity and the lives of the people of Kenya. That is my take.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see we have Njiru here with us, and we have Joseph too with us. And thank you so much, my brother. Before we continue, unajua ndasema kwa Kiswahili. Unajua kuna wakati mimi nasema kwamba ubinadamu imetutoka. Na hii inanikumbusha siku moja nilikuwa natembea na nikaona ndege ambayo ilikuwa imeaga, na kwa harakati zangu kusongea karibu nikaona kwamba wenzao ndege walikuwa wamekusanyika pamoja, ni kwamba ni wale ambao walikuwa wanaomboleza, na inamaanisha kwamba kwa tafsiri yangu ni hawa wanyama walikuwa wako na huzuni ama walikuwa wako na machungu moyoni mwao. Inamaanisha kuwa walikuwa najua mojawapo hayupo. Lakini hata ukiangalia katika Biblia, Father atatusaidia sana, unapata kama binadamu alipatiwa mamlaka zaidi kuliko wanyama wote chini na mbingu na zenye liko chini na hata kwa ardhi, yani mamlaka yake ilikuwa ni kubwa sana. Lakini ikifika mahali unaweza pata kama wanyama wanaanza kufikiria vizuri kuliko sisi. Wanaweza kuwa na uongozi bora, labda mambo ikitokea wanaweza kuwa wanaifanya vizuri kuliko sisi. Inatuambia sisi binadamu hata katika mbele ya Mungu hatufai. Pastor atatusaidia hapa, Father atatusaidia hapo. Asante sana Mr. Joseph kwa kuungana na sisi. Labda wewe maoni yako vipi?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. Ningetaka ku comment on what they have said down there. There is no way that a government will come and say sorry. They cannot come and say sorry because they have refused to admit that they were the same people who orchestrated the Subaru people who were sent. Because that girl was shot by the Subaru guys who you saw were around in and shooting anyhow. So Murkomen has just said that there is nobody like those who are. They just admitted there is no Subaru people. There is no people who did not wear uniform who are shooting around there. So the president cannot admit that there was a girl who was shot, and that's why you see he has taken time even to admit that kuna makosa ilifanyika huyo msichana kupigwa risasi. It cannot take you more than 2 days to admit that, but you know Buhari died. You are a president of Kenya, but you know Buhari died, but you don't know about a girl who died, who is 12 years old in your country. So it's just a shame for the country that he's the head of state, and he cannot even acknowledge about a young girl whose future has been cut short. You know, if you listen to so many things that are said about the girl yesterday in the eulogy, you could notice that she had started picking up on her journey of becoming great. So, but due to this government, her life is cut short. And also, I don't know what is the problem with this government. They want to kill Gen Zs. Now they have come out from Gen Zs. Now they want to kill Gen Alpha. I don't know what is their problem with babies or with young people. It's like they are serial killers. You know, I see those serial killers who like to kill babies. So when you think about this government, you feel just pathetic about it. It's very disgusting about the whole scenario. They just feel killing people who even have not come to maturity. If we continue like this, then I don't see, we have a banana republic. This is just a banana republic. We don't have a republic here. It's the same way if a whole minister of security can come and say that he does not know the people who are wearing balaclavas and they were in civilian clothes, and he say he does not know. So it means that now people have started shooting on the streets who we don't know. So it means the country already has gone the Haiti way. We don't know who is shooting. We don't know who is abducting people. It means the country now is being run by gangs. So if you are sending our police to Haiti, why do you need even to send them to keep peace in Haiti? Our country is already gang led, because you cannot be, the media cannot be, the fourth estate cannot be lying. Everybody saws those clips of them going to Kiseria, of them going to Ngong. Everybody saw the clips. So what are you coming here to justify? If you are saying they are not policemen, then tell us who are they. If you don't know who are they, then you need to leave as a cabinet secretary for interior. Your job has failed. You cannot be able to keep security and safety of Kenyans. You have failed in your job. If the president cannot uphold the constitution he swore that he's going to protect the citizens and the properties, he need to resign because he has failed in the work in his mandate. Even there is no other room for saying that Ruto has not done this, has not done this. The first thing, if they cannot admit that those people are policemen, they have failed all of them. They are supposed to be resigning. They're supposed to resign all of them. The whole government should pack and go, because you cannot tell us. So it means now we are going to be working with when we are afraid, or we be working with things that we are harming ourselves, because we don't know the next time you are going to be shot. That girl did not go for any maandamano. The bullet came straight to through the roof and killed that girl. So what point do you as a leader tell us that hii mambo yote ati hautasimamishwa na mtu? That girl was not in any maandamano. You have not even tendered an apology. You have not even admitted that she was shot. What kind of leader are you? I don't understand. If this is the leadership, I don't want part of it. I cannot want to be part of it. If this is the leadership you are going to be shown, I can never be part of it. If you cannot even admit to the wrongs that you have seen in the country, that everything to you must be good to you, but when it is not good, you cannot even say anything is happening or anything is wrong. So it is a high time. We need to also look at this guy's mentality. We need to check out his brain. I think he has lost it. This guy, his brain, the way somebody was saying, he's mental. He's not okay in his brain, because there is no way you can see students crying. You know, even I was not able to finish the whole burial because of the scenes that I was seeing. You see young kids, they are crying. You have started even disturbing the Gen Alpha. You have not even finished with the Gen Z. You have started going to the young kids. So it means my kids are already in trouble. So do I get happy about that and say, ha, 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 you kill also the kids who are, no. It's not right. In where I come from, Kutus, the police every day are beating people because that there's a uniform which got lost. So every day, every night they are going. When people are in the club there, they're enjoying even the enjoyment of a peace of mind, because of the harsh economic times you are living. If you go to enjoy yourself in a small club there, you hear somebody the police are coming and beating you up. Yesterday they beat up people. They have been beating people left, right, and center. Today there was a burial which was supposed to happen for that kid who was killed in Kutus. They say that even they are not going to remove the body, the police, because if they try to remove it, even the candle lighting, I saw police being mobilized. I don't know what is up with the police that they want. Why don't they give us security in the important things we need? When there is these things you hear, like there is a disturbance between the government and the people, is when you see the police. What is their work? I don't understand their work. If they cannot be able to safeguard us when we need them, because in Kerogoya the other day, they like 2-3 months ago, there was people who are stealing people's businesses at night, but the police, they have more resources to come and fight people who are coming to go and bury a person who does not even have any rank in the police or in the county. They are sending around, even they were GSU officers. I hear they send the GSU officers. They're sending around one truck to come and why don't they send them when we have the people who are stealing the robbers? It's so unfortunate that the country has come to this. But what do we do? When we have a mental person in power, we don't expect anything less. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph, for giving your take. I saw a comment here from Father. Father is saying he didn't know that Joseph is just looks like a Gen Z. So him is saying ni kama amekuwa fossil sasa.
Hapana, mimi si Gen Z, mwambie mimi ni mtu mzee bwana. Ndevu nijua nioni vizuri juu hata ndevu zote white. Mimi ni mzee, ni vile nimejiweka vizuri, nimejimaintain.
Sasa, okay, thanks. I'm coming to you, Barack. Let me acha tusikie Dr. Njiru pia naona ako hapa. Atuambie maoni yake. What do you think, Njiru, on the issue of this young lady who was buried yesterday? And it's being said that she did not even she was not participating in the demonstration. She was just shot while she was watching TV in their house. And if you saw the environment, it was a somber mood there. We saw the classmates. They were really crying, and they're asking themselves so many questions that at their age they're also burying one of them at a time when they never really expected, and that is coming out of what we call negligence. So if I would say so, in the part of police. What do you have to say about that? And maybe what do you think is the way forward so that we don't get into such kind of problems?
Okay, I don't know kama Bwana Obura. Can you hear me well? Can you get me?
Yes, I can hear you. Proceed.
Okay, sawa. Thank you very much. Kwanza nasalimia kongamano hili lako.
Okay, fine. And then you were supposed to give us a feedback on what happened. You happened to have attended the meeting that was held by the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. You were supposed to give us what really happened, but we waited for you. We didn't really see you.
Yeah, ni sawa. So feedback naweza wapea kesho. Today I want to run some errands here and there, and it needs a bit of time. But kesho naweza ingia show yako mapema. But
Okay.
let me react to the death of that young girl, 12 years old. For your information, ningeoa mapema. I have capacity to father that girl. I have kids 10 years old, 7 years old, 4 years old. So I'm a father of that generation. That's what I would say. I'm a father of that generation. And it is so unfortunate that we are now talking about the death of a nation. Because, when a young kid full of life, who is very potential, dies, that is the death of a nation. You don't need to go in cycles and explain how nations die. Nations die exactly how we are dying. People full of potential, people full of life, they just die. And it doesn't need to be that way. We cannot be dying and losing our people because of one human being, because of one soul. Mr. William Samoei Ruto. Mina mtajanga kwa jina. I think the amount of destruction happening in Kenya is too much that Ruto needs to be dispensed at some point. There's no way in which Ruto can behave as if he is indispensable in this life. When I was working in some companies, I used to hear our CEOs tell us that no one is indispensable here. So I don't understand the reason why Ruto is indispensable in Kenya. At Ruto lazima aendelee kutuongoza, whether tunakufa, whether tunaumia, whether vitu zetu haziendelei vizuri, the guy has to continue ruling us. I don't get it. So it is an explanation I would want to be explained to me why Ruto has to continue destroying our nation and he is still part of our life. It doesn't make sense. I thought in my life, when things are not working, I do away with them. I have done away with friends. I've done away with so many things which are not working in my life, including programs which I'm trying to do and they are not doing. So I don't understand the reason why we have to keep on forcing Ruto down the throat of Kenyans. And the Ruto issue is not a tribal issue. Ruto has been rejected by all age sets and by all regions of Kenya. The other day, you even saw some unrest in Kericho, where people have always been saying that pengine Ruto amebaki na Wakalenjin peke yake. This is what I say, and nimeshukuru sana ni Joseph ako hapa Malbera. This is what I would say. Ruto amebaki na wajinga peke yake. Don't think that hata Wakale wako na Ruto. That's always a mistake which we are always doing here. That we are trying to trivialize and tribalize this war, and we think that even encouraging people do not have brains and they have to keep on supporting somebody who does not make sense. Yes, Ruto has supporters, but Ruto supporters are people who are either bad-headed. I don't think I saw even a madman in Embu town some time back akielezea hata anasema hii serikali ni mbaya. So I would not even singetaka hata kupeleka hadhi ya wale watu ambao vichwa zao sio sawa, because I saw a madman explaining. Sijui kama Joseph umeiona huyo jamaa alikuwa anaelezea, he was somewhere in the street explaining how destructive our Kenyan economy is. Akasema hey, huu ni mwenda wazimu na kuna jamaa na Itumbi hata haelewi. So I came actually now to reason and understand that sometimes uenda wazimu it is not only hiyo ya kuokota makaratasi peke yake. There are people who are well in suits and their minds are ni uenda wazimu. I don't think people like Akina Sundi, they are running well. I don't think somebody like Farouk Kibet is running well. The only thing you can talk about ni bums za wanawake and a lot of disrespect of wanawake, but it is not disrespect of wanawake, it is an extension of what they do with those women. As you understand, those people are the engineers of 350. So hata Sabina Nyege siwezi mtetea. Sabina Nyege lazima akuwe sasa yeye hata ndiye office manager wa room 350. There could be that
supplier.
Huh?
Supplier.
Sorry? Pengine mani surprise. So Sabina Nyege siwezi shida ati nikimwambia, because you know courtesy of Oruoba, we have understood, which we don't even need to understand. We have understood that as part of embezzling our funds, this government is also a prostitution government. Kazi yao ni umaraya peke yake. We have heard that Oruoba talked about huyo msichana anaitangwa Karen Nyamu ambaye sasa nasikia ni chips funga ya parliament. Sijui ati huyo mama ndiye Karen Nyamu. Kata sio Oruoba. Oruoba said Karen Nyamu ni chips funga ya parliament. You did not hear Oruoba speaking about that, Bwana Joseph?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So, and I was so surprised that one of our eminent person, hata ndio saa zingine nimeshindwa hata kwenda kusikiliza muziki wake, hata kama nilikuwa huko Seattle, nilisikiliza tu Gachagua nikaenda. So I cannot imagine like Mushoki aka Samido is associated with this woman chips funga ya parliament, na mnaniambia niende nisikilize nyimbo zake. So I'm unable to watch him. I'm sorry Bwana Joseph, I did not attend a Samido concert. So vile tu Gachagua alikuja wakaimba na bibi yake wakatoka kwa jukwaa, mimi nilienda, because for me I don't believe that Samido is a moral authority to me. If Samido, the right people he thinks he can interact with, whether in now or in the past or in the future, ni watu kama akina Karen Nyamu, I don't think I have anything to do with Samido, and I'm sorry for that. Maybe some people might say that I'm very cruel with him, but I cannot watch any concert of Samido. So I'm that cruel to myself when it comes to morality and looking at the right thing. So Samido singer, juu hata nikimwangalia tu pale, and you know, like even when people are singing, there was a funny wimbo watu walikuwa wakiimba, sijui anamuuliza Samido, na unasikia even hata wale watu wanaimba hapo, unasikia tu wakisema ati Samido ni maraya. That's what they were saying, Samido ni maraya. So like he is singing there pale
Kevin maraya ni nini? Unajua unawatupia maneno hapa na wajibu.
No, I will explain. Like so Samido is having a song, he is saying Samido ti maraya, then the congregation na inajibu Samido ni maraya. The whole congregation inajibu Samido ni maraya. So I could hear them when I was outside. I was not even in the podium. Nilikuwa na huko nje sasa, as I was now interviewing people, I could hear people saying that maraya is a harlot, is a prostitute, in other words. So like anyway, men are not called harlots, men are not called prostitutes anyway. Sijui sasa jina ya wanaume in that category ni gani?
Men are called dogs. They are called dogs. Men are called dogs.
Okay. Yeah. So Njiru, nikuulize. So at this point where we are now, with all these happenings that we are seeing on matters of killings, which we are seeing. There's also some people who are arrested, and I was just following up. I'm seeing that the waliwekewa mambo ya terrorism. They were being charged by terrorism, and the former Chief Justice Emeritus Maraga is saying that terrorism charges are serious charges which should not be, they were not. It doesn't warrant what the gentlemen were being accused of, and then there are also quite a number of close allies of DCP party who are arrested. And they're still, I think they were also being charged with the same terrorism, and that is why they were still being held on for that long. So my question to you is, what do you think about this kind of tantrum accusations which are being directed to this people who are having different opinion? And then haujatumalizia hii mambo ya huyu mtoto mdogo. What does it tell you about the society where we live if a young child can just be killed in that manner, and she wasn't even participating in in this demonstration? What does that tell you about the society where we live? And that killing, what does it tell you to how does it feel? Close allies, the friends of this young girl, how do these children now feel if one of them left them because she was actually killed in that manner?
I saw the body of that young girl. Those are some of the burials which you don't wish them to be there, and such burials I'm unable to watch. So mimi niliona hata hiyo procession ya watoto wakiwa na bad hapo. I saw girls, young kids crying, na sio kujifanya, by the way. Msifikiria ati watoto wakilia hapo wanajifanya. So I saw the whole dichotomy. Then alafu nikasikia the idiot Murkomen trying to dispel the whole issue. Is like, we don't know how that girl died. And for me, I don't believe in this statement tunasemanga justice for so and so. MCOBURA, I don't believe in that garbage which we call justice for so and so. And I'm sorry to say this. When you hear Kenyans talking about justice for so and so, actually, we had a movement about we need justice for Albert. Alikuwa anaitwa Albert, huyo jamaa alikuwa ameuawa huko ni which Homa Bay.
Yes, Albert.
So because for me, the reason why I don't believe in justice for this and say, it is because inakuanga justice hiyo wakati wa mazishi, alafu hiyo story inaisha. Story ya huyo jamaa wa Homa Bay isha. In Kenya, once you are buried, ni hivyo. And I'm so sorry kusema hata hii story ya huyo msichana wetu, mtoto mdogo, venye tumemuzika hiyo story imeisha. So the justice will be swept away. They will try to hide the evidence. They will try. So the people, that's why let me tell you a funny story. Nilisikia mtu akiniambia Kenya. Unajua kuna mtu aliniambia in Kenya ukigonga mtu like a traffic accident. So Bwana Joseph, nitakwambia mimi nilisikia Mkenya akisema nikashtuka sana. Kuna mtu aliniambia mkubwa, even an unlikely event ushtukie tu umegonga tu mtu ama utagonga mtu, accelerate mgonge ya kufe. The case is easier.
It's, they always say sorry, I interrupt. They always say that casing with a person who has not died, the case is more difficult than casing with a person who is dead.
Yes. Yeah, I was shocked. Like our issues ni ati even in any case kuna kitu ananipeleka kwa koti hapa and I have an opportunity to kill somebody, I would rather kill that person rather than stand for the justice. I was so shocked that we have no preservation for life as a nation. And that is why I want to say here that we are being ruled by the wrong people. Because kama ni hivyo, we go by it that if if killing 50,000 people is what will stabilize Ruto government, I think he has no problem of killing 50,000 people. If killing 1 million people is what will continue keeping Ruto into power, I think he has no problem with that. So that is the problem which I'm now having. But we don't need to get worried about that, because Ruto has lost all the support which was having, and I don't think the people are remaining to him. Even Raila Odinga, who used to be on with him, serious thinking Luo people, I'm hearing they are not on his side. They see that Huyu Mutu, there is something which does not hold water. So in a nutshell, what we are seeing a government which is not responsible. We don't even need to be speaking about Akina Murkomen and the rest. So to return to your question, ile ambayo umeniuliza, let me tell you that Ruto cannot be rescued. Naona sasa sahi ati analingalinga na ile mastidi ya miaka 30 na AFCON, and they are not telling us even the amount of money which they have stolen even to bring that in. Hata hiyo AFCON wajafanya tujue kama itatendeka kama haitatendeka, we don't know. But the truth of the matter, hata nimeona they are doing advert kwa KBC, a very cold advert. I don't know how many people will be wanting, but nyinyi ngojeni, hata kama AFCON itafanywa Kenya, itakuwa tu one time tu. The rhetoric there will be just be one time. You know, these days Wakenya wakicongregate pahali ni one time. So, but all that energy lazima we have to harvest it na tujue now how we are going to get Ruto in power, Ruto out of power, because he is the easiest person to get out of power now, because everybody has rejected him. I'm now hearing from inside cycles that Raila Odinga himself feels very frustrated, and he feels as if his presence is not being felt. And he is looking to re-engineer himself inside the government, because at kuna vile ati he is feeling cold, like ati anaona ni kama yani wa Kenya awamfikiri venye wanafaa kukuwa akimfikiria. So that is why he is even talking of conclave to bring people together, so that it can now become the center stage again of discussion, because anaona watu ni kama wameondoka sana. But I hope Kenyans will be able to see that that trajectory where Raila Odinga want to bring himself again at the center stage ili tukue tunamuongelea. We have to keep on alienating him the way we have alienated him, with a manner that we will be able to have a credible candidate who will come and rescue us from these stories in 2027. But the question which we need to ask ourselves is 2027 going to meet us okay, well, breathing and alive? That is a question even how watu wanasukuma 2027, they will not tell you. But Bwana Joseph, I can tell you the truth of the matter is, if Ruto atafikisha 2027, he will meet a very tired population. People have lost hope, and so many bad things will have happened in the country, to the extent that we might even be having a collapsed government. Is that what we want for our kids? No, that's not what we want for our kids. But we have to think of something to stabilize ourselves. It can't be the way things are now. That's why I'm even though we are supporting Akina Gachagua and Martha Karua in the meantime, they have to give us a more credible program of how we can still get Ruto out of power. There is no in which you can tell me somebody is killing, maiming, not empathetic, and there's no way of getting those people in power. Even though he has bought the parliament, there must be a way of how you can be able to get this person in power. I still believe our opposition is a bit weak, because up to now they have not even been able to assemble a good case in ICC, which is so easy to assemble. There is too much evidence in the ground. I don't know why they are taking all this time to assemble serious cases, even though we know that ICC does not help. But at least we need to see some Ruto also trying to grapple with defending himself. Lastly, kuna kitu nilikuwa nataka kuongezea hapa. We are now approaching the dangerous stretch. I heard Bwana Gachagua jana anaambia Gen Zs they need to retreat sababu wanauawa sana. Ama maandamano ishe. I thought that maandamano are a natural thing. You have no capacity to start or stop maandamano. Hizi ni vitu zinajileta. I think on that one Gachagua overstretched his mandate towards his influence on Kenyans, and I think Bwana Gachagua should allow Kenyans to do their own determination. If they feel they want to demonstrate, they have freedom to demonstrate. And there's no way in which we can be talking about Kenyans being killed in the name of they are demonstrating. No one has the ability to snatch or give you life. Life is only given by God. And any person who has been killed by Ruto administration, Ruto has to pay them. Me, this is what I'm saying. It's only that we are not a serious nation. Any person who Ruto has killed so far, so that it becomes very difficult for the government or for the police to kill us in the future. Mtu yeyote ambaye serikali ya Ruto imeua alipo 1 billion. Lakini historia ya kulipa milioni 2 na milioni 3 is a waste of time. I wish I was a member of parliament. That is something which I could petition. Let's put an affordable money on life. Ati mtu akiuawa na polisi, let there be a very heavy pay, because let me tell you, life is everything. You cannot equate any amount of money. Let Kenya suffer if we have to kill somebody. That's what I say. Let Kenya suffer. I saw like in Minneapolis when they killed George Floyd. I'm sorry. When they killed George Floyd, Minneapolis State Department paid, not Minneapolis, Minnesota paid $26 million. What is $26 million? $26 million is around pesa ya Kenya. $26 million it's around 3 billion Kenya shillings. 3 to 4 billion Kenya shillings. That is the amount of money which Floyd family was paid. Huge money. And Minnesota paid. They had no otherwise. They paid because you are dealing with a life here. Unaona mtoto kama huyu mtoto ameuawa akiwa miaka 12. You count the amount of investment of that kid from age 12 up to maybe the time when she could have died naturally at around an age of 75 or 80. So you have cut short over 60 years from this kid. Umekata karibu miaka 60 kwa maisha ya huyu. What 60 years could have done to this kid? Angemaliza shule asome, angefanya nini, apate kazi, ainvest, azae. So all those things you have to pay. Kuna mwanaume Mkenya bibi yake aliuawa. Unajua, you don't know, maybe she is not of age ya kuolewa, but that girl was to become somebody's wife in the future. And there is a man somewhere who could have married that girl, but that man will end up elsewhere. You see the way we change destinies because of stupidity. Ni kama vile hata mimi, kama kuna mtu angeniua nikiwa na miaka 4 miaka 5, yule msichana nimeoa saa hii angenipata. That lady could have been married by another person. Maybe not as a good man like me or as a humble man like me. So huyo msichana nimeoa saa hii, if I was killed or if I died early, she could have been deprived getting a good husband like me. Msifikiria mimi sio mwanaume mzuri, Bwana Joseph. So
okay.
Hata wewe kidogo bura nimalizie. So Bwana Joseph, hata wewe, if life was gotten away from you before you got yule mama unaniambianga, wale watoto unaniambianga.
Yeah, maybe you can continue so that we get into another topic. Okay. Brother Njiru.
No, that one is okay. So that's why I was trying to say that the concept has to be how we have to get Ruto out of power. Personally, this clarion call of one term, to me, I still see it more far-stretched. We have to do something bigger than that. That's all what I would say. We have to do something bigger than that. We have to assemble our arsenal. And I still continue. The war has to continue. We have to keep on fighting Ruto. And this war, we have to make sure that it does not mutate into a tribal war. Lazima tuipigane venye tunaipigana. Gen Zs wametupea slate mzuri sana. That slate is good. We cannot abandon it. So we have to keep on rejecting Ruto. Ata Ruto alete pesa yake, we have to keep on rejecting him. We have to reject him today. We have to reject him tomorrow. We have to reject him in the future. And in any event that tunaenda kwa kura, we eventually tuangushe huyu mtu. Let's not be worried of the few people who are cronies to him na wale wanasema ati wataiba kura. Those are the minorities. Hao ni wale wadogo, hao ni wale wachache. Those are people who are trying to grab on what they are eating from Ruto, just like any other sycophant on the Ruto direction. The truth of the matter is, Ruto has been rejected, and Ruto cannot be the Kenyan president in the next dispensation unless kama sisi tumekuwa wenda wazimu. I would want to see Ruto winning a second term again in Kenya. it would be something which would be unlikely to be had. It is impossible. It is impossible. There's no way in which a mantra, a thief, somebody who has no empathy can win an election. Unless muniambia wa Kenya they have turned to be the evil of the evil. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Jiru, for giving us your take. Maybe I'll get back to you, Miguda, and then later on I'll get Takurudia bado. And just like the topic here is why Gachagua, Raila, the unlikely kingmakers. This is a topic that has been going around, and people are giving their take, people are giving their views. And so, Mr. Miguda, what do you think about the role of Rigathi Gachagua in being the kingmaker, or being the people who are going to be the forefront deciding who is going to be the president? That is Rigathi Gachagua and Raila Odinga. Remember, they have quite a good number of following. Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, and for that reason, he's still having some cases that he needs to do away with before he comes fully for this particular seat of presidency. At the same time, there's quite a number of good people who have come out to say that he's not the solution. Amidst that, Rigathi himself has come out to be, a political giant that most people are currently looking at him. What do you think, Mr. Miguda, Rigathi Gachagua is the role that Rigathi Gachagua is going to play in 2027 in, deciding on who is going to be the president? Do you think he has the capability? You can give us your take on that. And then something else that I want you to give your take on is, with him having not finished the case that is still over there at the court, does he still have the capacity to come and run for presidency? Number two, with all the accusations that have been taken before his doorstep, being, for example, tribal leader, being, for example, corrupt, all those accusations, do you think he has the capacity? For example, should he be given the opportunity to run the country? You can give us your take on that. And then on Raila again, Raila has been the opposition leader for quite some time. He has masses of people who follows him, and he's currently on the side of the president. What does that tell you? Do you think supporters of Raila Odinga will follow him? That is, if he decides to continue being with the president. And what is the view on the people? The view of the people who have been following him? Because for the first time, we're seeing a group of people having a different or divergent opinion on the stance that Raila has taken. Mr. Miguda, and then Joseph will give his take as well.
Okay, first, let me respond to the question you have asked concerning the ex-deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. To my response, first, Gachagua, the case is still in court, and we cannot predict that he cannot run or he can run. Of course, to my knowledge, I believe that he's having one of the best lawyers, and when you are in a court of law, it is a court of law sometimes, but not a court of justice. There's a certain scholar or a certain scholar who was one of the people who developed laws. They said that, young man, this is a court of law, not a court of justice. So there, if you argue your law to your best of knowledge, you're gonna be acquitted. I think also Rigathi Gachagua case is still, it must be concluded conclusively, and there's no laws in this country that bar him not running for the presidency. Because even when Uhuru and Ruto were in the ICC, they were not barred to run, and in fact they were presiding, and the cases were still afresh in court until the cases were concluded conclusively. That's when you can bar you from running. People will cite Sonko case, people will cite the Kiambu governor, I don't know, YT2 case. But remember, those two cases were concluded conclusively, and that one for Sonko forced people to wait until we went to Supreme Court and we concluded. In my knowledge, I believe that Gachagua can run. He can run. Still pending the case because there's no provision that says that if I have a case in court, I cannot run. I can run. That is why I still say that he can run. But him being a kingmaker or making someone presidency, of course, he can play some. Me, I'm seeing him playing a similar role he played in previous election by ensuring that well, he's a good mobilizer that is a fact, and there's no one who can try to argue that he's a mobilizer. He can mobilize. He can mobilize Mount Kenya. He has done it before. We saw, and right now he's doing it at the best. Is charged. He's actually fired up to carry the text. So I believe Gachagua can carry out that good role to mobilize the Mount Kenya and make sure that he can surrender the votes to the, because you actually the people of Mountain already has left William Ruto. Now he has joined them and is like now taking the command, the lead, that where you are going is where I am with you. So I believe with the much effort he's trying to make right now, he can actually mobilize the Mountain for the candidate of his own choice. That's a fact. The issue of Raila Odinga, to me, I agree with you because even you, just like you and me, we are privy to access Raila Odinga base. And right now, they are factions. You understand, there are people who are diehards. And most of the millennials are diehards and they are not ready to let go. And some old guards. But you find that the Gen Zs are having a divergent opinion within that constituency of Raila Odinga. So there are some leaders who are of the age of millennial and maybe Gen X who are trying to resonate with the Gen Z because also Gen Z are a huge constituency in that camp of Raila Odinga. To me, to a certain extent, Raila Odinga still can influence a little bit of the base is commanding to influence the outcome of the election if he's not running. But that one doesn't guarantee that whoever he supports is going to win or whoever Gachagua supports is going to win. That's a question which is still pending outside there because that's a futuristic analysis. So to me, Raila Odinga and Gachagua, there are some roles they can play which are similar because right now, current President William Ruto has claimed Raila is ready to give Raila anything, any offer, provided that it means that Raila is going to play a major role when it comes to assisting William Ruto. But in the opposition phase, you look at the opposition phase, you find out that Gachagua is somehow one of the key speakers in that team and one of the person who is communicating to the local and try to reason and solve with the people. So to me, I can give Gachagua a thumbs up in that opposition, and also this side, Raila is a person. Even Ruto is just, it's not even the way he used to be in the place. It's just depending on Raila. The same way opposition is depending on Gachagua. But most importantly, I want you to say that there is a certain constituency here they call. Don't look at the Gen Z alone. If you can mix the Gen Z and the millennials, they are a determining factor in the forthcoming election. Because if they decide that we, the people, we want to vote on this direction, they are the majority, even in terms of demographic, we are the majority. So we can decide, okay, let us vote for this candidate. So we can influence the outcome. So before making it look like it's a Gachagua and Raila show, there's a third force here, the younger people. If they can be registered and actually they can wake up in the morning and turn so that they can go to the polling station to elect a leader, I think they are the kingmakers. So in my final submission, there can be the kingmakers select with the millennial and the Gen Z. But hypothetically, there's a problem also because you find out that within the generation, there are those people who are still diehards of Raila Odinga. Even if you try to do a mapping, you find out that there are those people who still believe that Baba ni Baba. When I was doing my analysis, and of course, where I am, you and Brother Benson, I don't want to disclose it, but of course, I am also trying to engage people. When you talk to the millennials, there are those who still believe that thing of Baba ni Baba. But the people of Gen Z are the one who have a divergent opinion. Even, in our family, I'm the only Gen Z because I'm the last born. But most of my bros are millennials and my Cs. So you find out that when you try to persuade them, they are not likely to be convinced. And even when I go to where they are working, I'm trying to persuade their colleagues, they are not likely to be convinced. But when I speak to the my generation, or I try to speak to some gold guards. They are trying, some are just, I can say they are 50-50. So I believe that, that's why I said there's a hypothetical issue here. But what I can tell you, for a fact, William Ruto has lost ground. That's a fact. That's why people must come in for him, like Raila must come in to lift his hand, and also the generations. But what I believe is that what we have said before, it doesn't need to be Gachagua, and it's good if you can play. Gachagua can be on a technical bench actually, and he can play best there. And when he play on the technical bench, Gachagua mission must be, to him, he want to revenge politically. To him, he must make Ruto a one-term president. So he must fight within that lane. To Ruto, he want also to convince Gachagua that I am the doyen of this politics. But right now they are being with Baba. So I was just trying to give you my analysis based on what I've gathered on the ground, where I am when I'm engaging the population of the millennials. Actually, most of the people are meeting the millennials. There are those people who are telling me, MIGUDA, it is 2 term, the millennials of where I'm coming from right now. But as for me, you understand, I'm trying to persuade them that it is, I'm looking at it in a different lens, that to me, 1 term, even when I'm in the market, I just shout for some people, 1 term. So just to provoke them, to see how they are reacting at 1 term. So some are with me, some are not with me. That's why I still believe that this constituency of Elodinga, there's still a problem. There's some people who have aligned with Odinga's thought. They say, Baba Kisema right ni right, Baba Kisema left ni left. They are even saying, you go and bring your father to command us. So I think that those people who their decision has been made, the 27 decision has been made by where Raila is. But those also people who also have a different opinion, who believe that as for us, we need to have a different chart. And those who are saying, if it is not Rigi G and the likes of Matiang'i, we are ready to vote for the opposition. So you understand. So I can't come to a general analysis that Raila is going to be a kingmaker to Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua is going to be a kingmaker to Matiang'i. There are still some pending issues here. That is now from the ground, not from the national politics. There are still some pending issues with the electorates, whereby some people still have issues that if it must be in opposition, we want a new face. If Raila must support William Ruto, I actually, let me also give you another thought. The millennials are telling me, if we must support Ruto, we must be given a deputy president. And I was asking them, so if Ruto failed to give deputy president, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They're telling me, MIGUDA, hiyo ikae tu. We are used to opposition. We don't need to be in government. If you cannot give an ODM deputy president, so be it. We can go by ourselves. We are used to losing. So you understand. That's why I'm telling you that before we conclude that Raila is going to be a kingmaker, for who? Which are the people? Is it Ruto Kindiki or Ruto and the ODM person? That's when you can have that conversation. That's why I say it's something that is too hard to discuss. And you understand, this is also politics. There's no guarantee that Raila is going to stick to Ruto until 27. They can part ways. Who knew that Gachagua and Ruto are going to part ways? Nobody knew. It's the same thing. Even in that opposition, people can get out of opposition to go to Ruto. So from my own interview, I can report to the viewers and to our parents that what I've gathered, I've also dealt with a certain region, not the entire country. I can say that to my analysis that the people I'm trying to engage, there are those people who still have some issues that must be raised in both camps for them to make a decision. So right now, people have not made a decision, but there are some few people who have aligned with the thoughts of the leaders, like those who have told you Raila Daiha. So who have said, okay, Baba Mesema, upon your took. And even I went further to engage the boda people at a certain stage when I was passing in the morning. So they told me that I'm reporting from a certain region, not this is the Kenyan context. These are as a region of a country because they are part of the country. They're telling me if Raila is alive, where Raila points is where they will go. Until that time, they will bury Raila. Then they will have a new conversation. So that those who have a line, you cannot convince them whatsoever. You cannot change them. But those people who have a different view. So these are people you have to accommodate all their views and all their opinion. That's why I still believe that. And also when I was in a certain region around Kiambu County, I found out that they were telling me that right now they're not going to vote based on the tribe or emotions because it cost them the previous election. They were telling me mambo na ukabila na chuki, hapana, wacha ikae tu, yule mtu anaweza fanya kazi tutampatia. And I was glad, and I told them, because I'm not coming from Kiambu, so if I contest for the parliamentary seat here, are you going to vote for me? They told me, if you cannot deliver for us, we don't have a problem. We can give you. So I was like, okay, at least we have a new conversation going on in the country, and people are trying to have a different view. So MCOBURA right now, I cannot just conclude by saying that Rigiji and Odinga are going to be the kingmakers. We still have a long way to go. Back to you. Mute. MCOBURA, have you muted? I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Thank you for that. I'm saying, Brother Joseph, now my question to you is, what do you think about the kingpinship of Rigathi Gachagua and Raila, being that Rigathi Gachagua has gained quite, he has gained popularity and is getting quite a good support from the Mount Kenya region. And normally in politics, whenever we see a politician having a good follower, then that gives them the chance to negotiate on the table. My question to you is, do you think with all the cases which are still pending and with the expectation of the people, being that you are coming, for example, from that area, what are the people saying from that area in, on the influence of Rigathi Gachagua and his ability to influence who is going to be elected in 2027? And again, do you think with all the accusations that have been laid before him, suppose, for example, is given the mandate to run the country, do you think he can save the country from, all these things that the young people are going, all these things making the young people to go to the street? And then you can also give us your take on what you think about Raila Amolo Odinga, being that he's been the opposition leader for quite a long time. And, for the first time, we are seeing, he has been, for example, calling for demonstration. For the first time, we see people coming out for demonstration without them being called. And again, being that is currently on the side of the president, what do you think about, his support or his say in matters of 2027? Joseph, can you give us your take, and then BARRACK will give his take on the same topic as well immediately after you finish. Joseph?
Yeah, I'll pick on where you stopped at with Raila. I've just read right now. I'm reading that the ODM MPs are saying that Ruto should back Raila for a presidential seat in 2027. So I don't know if it is true or it is false. So for Rigathi Gachagua, he's going to be having some followers. People are going to vote MPs for his party. That is something for sure. But for him becoming the kingmaker, as the headline was saying today, he cannot be the kingmaker. I told you the kingmaker will be these young people, because these young people are voting across all divides. These young people, they are not linked to the fanatics za zile watu wamekuwa wakisema ati tuko na kingpin. They are not taking those orders. So for them kusema Rigathi Gachagua, even Rigathi Gachagua mwenyewe hawezi ka save Kenya pale tumefika. His work is just he can be able to deliver some of the votes to the person who is going to be upfront so that he can be able to win this election, so that he can be removed Ruto. Lakini kusema ati tunaita Rigathi fanya kazi hapo tunajipoteza kabisa. I had our brother MIGUDA saying that he did not know Rigathi and Ruto could have left each other. I knew that from the beginning because I never even supported that guy. So I know there is people who still love him on the ground in Mount Kenya, and he is going to have MPs in parliament. But I think also the people from the mountain, some of them have learned a lesson so much that when you vote according to tribal lines, you are always going to have the MPs like Akina Kawanjiko, like the one called Kagombe. You're going to have all these useless MPs. So if you want to vote on the and I think the problem will be Gen Z will be also vying for these seats. So when the Gen Z are going to be vying for these seats, it means most of the Gen Zs from those areas, if they are going to have the majority of the votes, they are going to give these seats to those Gen Zs. So there is too much dynamics which is going to be played in 2027. For me myself, I stay in Mount Kenya, but I vote in Nairobi. So for me, Nairobi also my voters card is also blank because I have not checked on any person who is good to see. The only person I had put in my voters card was Sifuna, because and I don't know which seat is going to go for. So the other people I had removed them, I had wiped them off the voting card in my list. So I think the determinants in 2027 election will be the Gen Z. I am very sure those are going to be the determinants of 2027 election. Let nobody come and fly to you with the kingship here and the kingpin there. These Gen Z, they hold a lot of water in terms of what they are going to do. And I've seen most of them, they have started picking IDs. I believe in them. Most of them, Brother Kevin, we cannot say they are the kingpins. When 8 million people did not vote in the last election. Do you know 8 million people did not vote? They did not vote in the past election. So,
yes, but what do you think? What do you think? Do they have the capacity to convince the 8 million people that did not vote to vote at this particular time?
No, nobody is going to convince these 8 million people to vote. They have seen what has happened to them. You know, these people who don't vote, ni wale wanasemaga, sioni haja ya kura, kwa hii niamke asubuhi niende nikapige laini nipige kura. Hii kura hata inanisaidia na nini na wataenda kuiba. So I think the people have also gotten enough of what they have had. That's why I told you in this same studio. I told you if there is going to be a high turnout of voting, this will be the first election which will have a high turnout of voters. And it's going to be a very long queue. So even if you are going to plan to go and vote, you need to wake up very early in the morning and go and panga the lines, because I know it's going to be highly contested and and it's going to be having high numbers of voters. So for the kingmanship, I cannot say any party has, because even there 8 million people already. It's like they have won the people who had the 7 million, the 6 million. If the 8 million were the ones who are voting for their candidate, could mean they could have already won the election. So still people don't have trust in these leaders the way they did not have trust in 2022. So some of them will opt for the third leg, which is the Gen Z. So we are going to see what will happen. But I know the difference. Gachagua and Raila will not make that much difference. Even if they'll make, maybe they'll be having their voters. Na unajua hii kitu imechanganyikiwa, Brother Kevin. Hawezi sema ati Mount Kenya itavotia Gachagua. Juu Mount Kenya hiyo yenyewe unasema iko na Gen Z. So it's a very tricky affair. Kama ingekuwaga ati ni watu wazee tunajua wanaenda kupiga kura Mount Kenya, tulikuwa tunasema ati ni wazee tu, tungekuwa tunasema Gachagua. But now we have confusion because Gen Z is at play. We don't know how many votes they are going to be having. If they say the young people are 70%, 75% in the country, it means they are going to be having a play. Even if they are going to come out and vote 50% or 45%, it's going to play a big number. So that is my take.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph, for giving us your take on that. And now, BARRACK, what do you have to say about the same topic? I don't know whether you remember the exact question I did ask, or I repeat. BARRACK?
Yeah, it's okay. I think you asked about between Gachagua and Raila, who are going to be the kingmakers. I think that is the topic. Is that so?
Yes, that's the topic.
That's the question. Yeah, I think for me, I think I can just say that it's still too early to say that, because you know, Kenyan politics, 1 year is very big. It's such a long time, and 2 years, since we are still 2 years away for to election, it's too early to start speculating about Raila or Gachagua. But the fact is that Gachagua is building his capacity. He has shown that he's a very serious player in the coming election, and is building his political party with the intention of getting as many elected leaders as possible. Because I think being a politician, he knows that he was kicked out of office because he lacked members of parliament who can stand with him, and that is why he want to build a party that will have many members of parliament, so that he can have his interests taken care of when anything goes to the parliament. And remember, in 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 uh, in his in the united opposition, once Gachagua build a very strong political party, I think he will not have any equal in the united opposition, because once you have a strong political parties with many elected leaders, all these other players will be below him. And once you build such capacity, even when you support someone and they become the president, they will be seen like they are inferior to you. And I think that is the threat that that is the united opposition is having right now, because I don't think there is any other leader in the opposition right now that can build their capacity the way Gachagua is doing, and that automatically makes him the de facto opposition leader. Even though many people are saying they cannot, he's not the option. He's not an option to Ruto, which is true. But as a politician, he's trying to build his capacity so that if he supports someone like Kalonzo, he will be the boss. He presses the remote and Kalonzo brings whatever he wants. Even if he supports someone like Matiang'i, because I know Matiang'i with his Jubilee, or if he comes up with a different party, they cannot have a capacity that Gachagua is trying to build with his party DCP. So let him continue building that capacity, and as we grow near 2027 and see how that will unfold. On Raila's side, I think Raila has his own diehard supporters, even though ODM is going to have a very difficult time in 2027 in trying to ensure that they bring many members of parliament the way they did in 2022, because number one, new political parties are going to eat into their vote, their traditional vote base, and this new political party might reduce their members from the coast and also from Western Kenya, and somehow even in urban areas like even Nairobi. So they have to ensure that they put their house in order to maintain their support base, because if they don't, they will end up being the casualties of 2027 elections. Even though Raila still have those diehard supporters who support him, but there are others who have already withdrawn their support based on the new political landscape of the country right now. And since even Raila is not might not be on the ballot that also weakens the chances of the political party to gain more members of parliament, because you don't have some bargaining power. You know, the likes of Wiper and other parties have been crying foul that since Raila has been vying has been the flag bearer, so they've been missing out when it comes to bargaining power at the parliamentary level. So that they will use that. They will use that to diminish their numbers. So I think 2027 might be a different ball game to what we are used to back in 2022 and 2017 and 2013, because the dynamics might change. But my observation might also be that there's a scenario that there's something that's called voter apathy. Voter apathy might also be a contributing factor, because if you listen to what the women rep was saying, we are going to steal there. So, you know, that's one way of trying to control people psychologically, that even if you vote, the vote is going to, the president is going to steal. So wewe hakuna haja upige kura if you kama umpigi, you know, that's also mind game, eh? And you know, politics perception is very important. Sometimes people play with mind games to try to cut to eat into their opponent's voting block. So many things are going to be at play. And the young people who are going to vote for the first time, majority of them are Gen Z. And just want to say that in 2032, most of these Gen Z are going to be out of the youth bracket, and Gen Alpha are going to be coming in as the first voters in 2032. So if they don't make a difference in 2027, then most of them are going to also to be joining, yeah, because the first Gen Z were born in 1997, and in 2032 they are going to be outside the youth bracket. So if they want to make a difference, they have to make it in 2027. But you cannot make a difference if you don't have what we call a leadership, a clarity of options. Because you want to vote, but you don't want to vote. There's nobody who you are fronting as a team, yeah. Because the United Opposition, I can assure you, once they declare their flag bearer, they are going to crumble. They are going to disintegrate like, I don't know. Have you ever poured water down on the floor and it just goes to different direction? Because let me give you a scenario. If Kalonzo Musyoka have been supporting Raila Odinga, logically you might say Raila Odinga is older than Kalonzo. In terms of political capacity, Raila has built his political capacity, and Raila was even experienced in terms of politics. He has been there for long. Now, what logic will Kalonzo use to support someone like Matiang'i, who has never been a politician, but now is being fronted for the first time? How will he convince his people that he's supporting Matiang'i, and Matiang'i, who is younger than him, does not have political experience? So you see, it's illogical for Kalonzo to do that, because if he does that, it means that his presidential ambition forever. He has shelved those presidential ambition and will not be vying again as a president. Now, how can you convince people that now Gen Z, that Kalonzo is their candidate, the most suitable candidate for them to vote for? So you see, these are the dynamics that are going to shape the 2027 election. Number one, the traditional, they are called the career politicians, who have been there for years. Kalonzo has been there since 83 up to now. Yeah. How are you going to convince Gen Z that he's the most suitable candidate? Okay. Talking about Matiang'i, people know his history, Maraga and so forth, because those are the names that people are talking about. I've not heard anybody mentioning about Eugene. Gachagua is very clear that he's not an option at this point. So how are we going to convince the young people that this is the right candidate to vote for? And at the same time, is there any other candidate who is willing to throw in their hat so that they try at least vying against the president? So there are so many factors that for me, I think it's still too early for us to know exactly what is going to shape, who is going to be the kingmaker in 2027. but we have that liberty to analyze and to make prediction and try to predict what might shape the 2027 election, or who might influence, and eventually who might emerge the winner. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm having a challenge here, so I beg to leave for now. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Barack, for giving us your take and finding time to be with us. Allow me to recognize the presence of Samia CEO. Samia CEO, if you have a different opinion, you can always also find time and join and give us your take. We are not saying that whatever we are saying here is the exact thing which is happening, but we're just giving our take or our opinion, and more of our opinion is, of course, we are discussing matters affecting the country, and we're just giving our take. We are giving our opinion. We're not saying what we are doing is the perfect one. So you can as well, if you have a different opinion, you can always join us so that you give us a practical bit of thinking, one which does not look like guesswork. Yeah. So, Miguda, what do you think about the visit where President Ruto today met section of evangelical leaders, and they are supporting the construction of the State House, of the church in the State House. At the same time, they're saying that whoever is going against that, they are antichrist. And, they're also committing to support the president. At the same time, the president is saying that he has a solid report card that he will bring before the people, that will, that is what is going to give him the second term. So maybe your take on that, Mr. Miguda. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Father Didi. Thank you so much, Father Didi. Asante sana kwa kujiunga nasi, na Edwin Kipsosion pia namuona pia. Ani, asante sana. Gitonga. Judith, thank you so much for finding time to join us, and we hope that you're doing good. Miguda?
I don't think those who are opposed to the construction of the church at State House are anti-Christ. They have just given their opinion that, and they have tried to lay down under issues whereby there are people who believe that Kenya is not a state religion, and we are diverse in terms of religion. We have the Muslims, or even in that Christians. We are still diverse. There are those people who are evangelical, you have called them. There are those who are Catholics, or I think they are Protestant, they are the SDAs. So how are you going to construct a church for a specific group of Christians, and there are specific group of Christians who are not going to be represented at that church? I think that's what the debate that we're trying to argue, are not that people are anti-Christ. People are not anti-Christ. And there's no one who has the monopoly to know who is anti-Christ, who is not anti-Christ, because we are all human beings. Even those leaders in the church, they cannot tell us who is anti-Christ, who is not anti-Christ, because even them, they are human beings. Not that they are God. They are not God. They are not even Jesus Christ. So it's only God who knows who is anti-Christ and who is not anti-Christ. I think people are really at liberty to exercise their opinion. And that is what I wanted to say. But the stand is very clear that you need to incorporate each and every religion. It should not side with one religion, because we are in our constitution. There's a provision of there shall be no state religion, because of the nature of our diversity. I have told you, and I believe that Mr. President is well guided by the advisors of the Constitutional Affairs, and he knows that one very well. Maybe those people want just to make it look like it's their own affair. The state affairs should not be for specific people or for specific religion. The state affairs should be exclusive for everybody. I think it should be inclusive, whereby each and every person is accommodated. That's my view, MCOBURA.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving us your take. Something else that I want you to give your take on is after the debate or the interview that the president, Dr. Miguna had, and after he came out and criticized and said that Dr. Matiang'i is not the option, and he did give quite a go. He gave a number of reasons why he thinks so. My question to you is, what do you think about that interview? What did it impact, or how did it affect the image of Dr. Matiang'i? Because currently, former emeritus Chief Justice has been trending of late, and now the focus actually is kind of shifting in him again. And what do you think? Do you think it's going to last, and possibly people are going to start seeing Maraga as the best option? What is your take?
I think that is the nature of the politics. Politics is a matter of relevancy. You must be relevant. Now it shifts from one point to the other. Previously it used to be Matiang'i, now it has shifted to Maraga. That's the nature of it, the way it's happened. But I want to just say that what Miguna said about Matiang'i, to me, it was those are factual allegations, and you understand that they were even proven by the court of law, and there were some others which were given out. So I believe that it is also good for Matiang'i to come out and actually try to comply with the orders which are given, and try to also to comply with the accusation of which Miguna said. And that's when you violate someone's right, individual rights, is the violation of all rights, because if you can act in that manner to an individual, it means that anybody who is opposed to you and anybody who is criticizing you, you can react negatively, and that's not the leaders we want in this country. So Matiang'i, to me, I think he did bad things to Miguna, and he also did bad things to other Kenyans. Therefore, with the way I've said, until it comes out and clear the air, and also table credible evidence that actually he was getting instruction from the above, or he himself made that decision whereby he never comply with the constitution, because the constitution is clear that each and every person should uphold and defend the constitution. Therefore, even when it comes to the status, even if you are the CS, you are not above the law. All of us are equal before the law, irrespective of our status. So I think he abused the power when he was the CS for Interior. The way right now some are abusing the power. Such people, I don't think they are good for leadership, and I encourage Miguna for doing a good work to expose Matiang'i for what he did, because we can't just hide things here because we want him to be president. Now we forgot about the past. That's why we are here today. People have been ignoring the past. When someone is a criminal, it's a criminal. It doesn't change that person. But people think that if you have given up in power or presidency, you're going to be a different person. To me, if someone is wrong, is wrong. If someone is right, is right. We better deal with the right person. We better deal with the good deal. The good deal is not Matiang'i to me. I think that's my response.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe the issue of Dr. Khalwale, who is currently the senator of Kakamega County, he has shown that he's no longer interested in UDA, that is shifting to another party. How is that going to affect the politics of Western region, and at a point where, at a time when we are seeing quite a number of exodus or people having different views? For example, on ODM, we've seen Sifuna, we've seen quite a number, Kalasinga among others. And with the restlessness of the Western region, and these leaders defecting from the government side, how is that going to affect the politics of Western side? And then you can also give us your take on the member of Parliament, Caleb Amisi, is also saying that there is some pressure from Uhuru Kenyatta that is telling Mudavadi to resign. And he focuses on the politics of he goes back to Western and unite the people of Western so that they become strong before 2027. And he did say that at this point it is not possible, that young youths leaders have already out, and they are fixing the problems and the politics of Western region, that Mudavadi has totally no say at this particular time. What do you have to say about that?
Politics of Western in joining with the Khalwale. What's happening right now in the government? I think the government is reloaded. The UDA or the government is reloaded. There are too many people into the government that they have come with a different interest, and the people who are found there have to exit the stage. People like Gachagua were impeached. People like Muturi were shown the door. There are some people who were told to go out of the cabinet, and even in terms of the structure of leadership in the assembly, there are some people who have been denied to access to some tenders. So I believe that if the government is reloaded, and when the government is reloaded, some people must come out, and people like Halwara are getting out of the government, and you must look for a scapegoat whereby you must have something to say about it. And also it depends on the future politics of him. You want to be the governor for Kakamega, he must also look for a vehicle that will enable him to sell to the county government of Kakamega. To me, I think there are too many people in the government, and some people must now get out and try to look for space where somewhere else where to breathe. That's what's happening in the Khalwale camp. But the issue of Western politics, to me, it is something that has now come of time, whereby there are some new emerging leaders in the region. Like, you can't dance for the entire day, even if you are the best dancer of all time. People like Caleb Amisi have shown that now they have their time. People like Sifuna are coming out, and Natembe is emerging. So I think it's a matter of transformation and power shifting from different region. You saw what happened in Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya, there are people like Abogo, people like Uhuru are no longer the darlings of Mount Kenya. They used to be darlings in 2013 and 17. Things have shifted drastically. Even the Rift Valley, people like Franklin Bett, Enrico Skei, people like the Ruto from Kipsigis, these things have just shifted drastically, and that's the nature of that's how it happens in politics, whereby someone can cling to be claiming a support base for a quite long time. At times in politics, you must allow other people also to come of age and also become members of parliament. Yeah, I told you that there are next year from now, with the Gen Z, with the people in the parliament and the Senate, we will be dominating those houses, even the judiciary, even the cabinet. With the people who are going to be part of it. Things have to be transformed, even if you refuse to admit or not. I believe things have to be shift. That's what happened in Western. So even if you bring Mudavadi right now, the trainers already left the station, but the people are moving, so it can't bring much to the people of Western, because he has been there for a quite long time. So what is it this new that is going to bring to the people which he has never brought before? I believe that we just start a new path as the people of Kenya with the new leaders as we forge ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. There's some comments here from Father. Father is saying, I guess Natembea may tembea to UPM soon and leave Wamalwa party due to supremacy battle. Caleb Amisi dismisses Natembea and others. Luya is total chaos. Okay. That is Father Didi. Maybe you'll give your take on that as well. Something else that the last question that I have that I wanted to hear your take on is I don't know whether you heard the comments from Dindi Nyoro yesterday, where he said that he was giving his take on the rise, the increase in the prices of fuel, and he said that the government is taking some some loans with some secret loans, and making the levy as some security to it. And so today we saw the cabinet in charge. He came out and said that securities are not anything secretive, and that the comments were misleading. You can give your take on that as well, and then you can also give your take on what Father Ye is saying, and then you will give us your final remarks.
I think I was not privy to heard what was said by Didi Nyoro. Let me just respond to what Father Didi has said. Then I finalize. I guess at Natembea may tembea to UPM soon and leave at Wamalwa party due to supremacy battles. Caleb Amisi dismisses Natembea and others. There is total chaos. I tend to admit what Father is saying, because right now we are in Western Province and there is that power supremacy whereby people are battling out who is the kingpin or who is the spokesperson of the region. And there are so many things that are happening. But if you are not convenient in one camp, it is up to you now to decide whether you can shift to the other camp. And there's also that liberty whereby you understand the country, we are a multi-party democracy. We can have many parties. So you don't need to stick to DAP Kenya, or you need to stick to Ford Kenya, or you don't need to stick to ODM. You can as well initiate your party and have full authority whereby you are the person who is controlling or the person calling the shots. What's happening right now in Central Province whereby Gachagua is the current person calling the shots. I believe it is up to Natembea even he can shift to DAP, because it's like the other time I saw people were trying to advocate for him to be the party leader of the DAP Kenya. But now Eugene has stick to the party, and Eugene is now moving across the country with the likes of Kalonzo, Gachagua. So it's not easy for Eugene to back off and support Natembea. So it's up to him also to look for a different party, because Natembea, to him, he got the people who are following him. No, he must be a leader of a political party. Also, it depends on the calculation of the 2032. Maybe you want to come, if you remain under somebody for a quite long of time, and even if you're popular, there's no way you can get out of that person, because you'll still be operating under somebody. So it is good always to have your own political party and be the party leader, so that when people are going to negotiation, you can be reconsidered as part of the people who are going to negotiate. So bargaining power to some extent. And that's what Natembea is trying to create. My final thought, I just like to appreciate our viewers for coming to the show, and also appreciate the people who have come to the comment section and also engage us. I saw people like Father Didi, I saw Hani, I saw Polytyke, I saw Judith, I also saw, I think I was privileged to saw those people. So see you next time. I also appreciate our panelists for coming to the contribution. Good night from my end.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Allow me to also acknowledge Father Didi, Joseph, Taish Politiki, Annie, Mabella, Edwin, there was Gitonga, Judith, among others. Everyone who joined us, we really appreciate. This is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're new to this channel, kindly just like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, and we will say thank you. I want to take the opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much. May God bless you. See you again tomorrow.